Okay, let me know if you guys are back. Back? Okay. My electricity blinked, and I think it just knocked me back off. Knocked me offline. Okay, we'll try it again. So if that happens again, you guys, you're going to know what happened because the electricity blinked. And I'm like, what in the world? There was not a cloud in the sky. There's nothing going on. It just blinked. Yeah, I'm going to stay here a little bit longer. Hey, Jen. I'll be here probably another 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30. Because why not? Because Monday night's just kind of a night to just kind of play around, right? We just play around here. Now, if you want to get real meticulous about some of this stuff, you can ink around all these little petals and all that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just make it up as I go along. So welcome back, everybody. It was the electricity, who's ever in charge of the electricity is the one that caused that one. That wasn't even my computer. It just all of a sudden everything blinked and I'm like, oh no, oh no, but it came right back. It's probably just enough to screw up all my clocks. That's annoying, can I say? Hi, Denise. Can I just say it's real annoying when it resets all of your clocks to midnight? Yeah. Super annoying when that happens. So all I'm doing, in case you're just coming in, I'm just making some sunflower petals. Yeah, it was goofy, so there may be a bunch of little stupid little recordings that I'm going to have to go take off because I kept trying to go back on, and I finally went, nope, going to have to start over. Yeah. It is the way of electricity sometimes. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's hot here and there's too big a demand. You know, I don't know. I act like I know what I'm talking about. I don't have a clue what I'm talking about, you guys. Not a clue. No, I don't understand any of that stuff. I just talk. Okay? I'm just here to entertain, that's all. I'm not here to know anything. I'm just here to entertain and just keep you guys company. So I'm just using my white plastic eraser to take off. I like these stick erasers. I do like these white plastic stick erasers. These are the click erasers from Pentel, and I like these. If I get the other ones, you know, like the Statler and some of those other ones that are white plastic ones in the like a rectangular, you know, they come in a 3-pack usually, or you can get a whole pack of them in a box. I end up carving those into stamps instead of using them as erasers. So these you could carve too into something really small, but I don't usually do that. Okay, let's see if we got enough petals here. So my what I want to do here is I want to make these a little bigger and a little bit lighter in tone from the background. Oh, I think we have enough. This is good. We have enough. And I could let this one kind of hang out like I did the other one. That's good. Okay, I can deal with that. All right, let's quick glue these down. You love those erasers too. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you. We picked up some new people, lost a whole bunch of others, but we picked up new people since I faded into the background. Okay, Let's, you know, what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of move everybody out. And then we're just going to start gluing. I'm just using a glue stick. And now these won't, of course, will not look like the way they were when I just had them positioned a minute ago, because the only way that's ever going to happen is if you take a picture and you do it, you know, exactly, you know, the way they were, and that's not going to happen. You also have to be kind of careful when you're working with glue stick, because you can get your hands so full of glue that you can make yourself a problem with that also. So you kind of got to be a little careful. But what I'm trying to do is to bring these in, make them bigger, bring this row of petals in, make them lighter in color, let them kind of, you know how sunflowers do. They are very layered up. They have lots of petals. One time when Clausman and I were motorcycling back in the day, because you know we motorcycled all over everywhere. You saw the pictures. I have pictures to prove it in my black leather my black leather overalls, you guys. You know, you saw them. You saw it here first, right? I know some of you still can't imagine that I usually actually did that, but I am also a licensed motorcyclist. In other words, I'm a motorcycle mama. We used to take Race with us before he could, when he still was, he was still pretty small. We'd strap a thing of diapers on the back of the motorcycle. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here with this one that's kind of hanging out in the breeze. I'm going to put some glue stick on this, and I'm just going to stick it under here, which I could have done prior to this. However, I wasn't smart enough to do that. Because, you know, sometimes even though I've done it once already tonight, okay, I'm going to let that sit there and dry, and then once it's dry, then I will cut that out, and that will give that petal, the tip of that petal, a little more support. So this is going to look real ugly for a little bit, and that's okay. You guys can handle it. You guys can handle the ugly. I need one more petal because I clearly crunched these up a little too much. I need one more petal. Let's see. Anyway, I don't know what it was I was saying about. Oh, yeah, we went across Kansas more than once on motorcycles, and saw the fields of sunflowers. You talk about a sight to see. Wow. Okay, let's see if this one will. Yeah, okay. Okay, now watch. Now watch. Now watch. I'm going to get smarter this time. Maybe the only time I get smarter. But I'm going to get smarter, you guys. I'm going to get smarter. Yeah. See? See, this is what you do if you're really smart. You back it first and then you cut it out, okay? I never claimed to be the brightest crayon in the box. I do okay, but I'm not necessarily the smartest, brightest crayon in the box. Okay, I'm going to get the graphite off. See, now I have a double-sided petal, which is what this is going to be, but it's just going to be double-sided in that one spot. And then we're going to glue this on. Okay? Yep. See, it doesn't take me too long to learn, just, you know, several petals, that's all. Oh, yeah. I hope you said yes, Kathy. Well, yeah, well, of course. Uh-huh. That's right. That's right, Dar. That's right. Okay, so the next layer of petals, I'm going to do one more row of petals. I'm going to go to this color. You see it's lighter and brighter. So let's do that. I'm going to set my glue paper aside. Now, this row of petals, because it's coming further forward in the flower, we're going to make them even bigger. This is the glue that I'm using, Elmer's Extreme. This is my favorite glue stick. I don't know if they still make it. They might, but they might not. I don't know. Last time I bought it, I bought a whole bunch of it because I like it the best. Yeah, they look at you sometimes. There's two things where you get really weird looks. One is when somebody thinks that you're way too old to be doing something like riding a motorcycle, which I don't ride them anymore, but I'm not giving up my license because you never know when I might have to, right? And the other one is when you go to the grocery store. I know this has happened to you guys. When you go to the grocery store and you buy baby wipes or Walmart, right? I know, right, Kel? Can you still buy it? Last time I got it from Amazon. I got a whole, like, I don't know, a case of them. Whatever a case was at that point. As long as you don't open them, they stay. Once you open them, the clock starts ticking. You just have to start counting on using them. Okay. Yeah, have you guys gone? I know every one of you has to have gone to the grocery store or Walmart or something to buy baby wipes, and they look at you like, sure, lady. You must be the grandmother taking care of your grandchildren, must be babysitting your grandchildren. They never stop to think that maybe it's for your art supplies. Right? Am I right? I had this high school kid give me the business one day. I mean, truly, kid gave me the business. He's like, right. like you're gonna have a baby. Like you have a baby at your house. Yeah, you know what? It could happen. Drop the mic. That's right. I know, right? And shut the front door. You betcha. Okay, so all I'm doing is cutting out these little petals. That's all. But yeah, that is funny. You know, when you go to get your license renewed, and they're like, "Yeah, so you really want to add the motorcycle thing back onto your license?" And it's like, darn right. Back when, in June, the last part of Clausman's life, I mean, he just could not hold on to the fact, could not remember that he wasn't going to be able to drive again. Just could not hold on to that fact. When you're dealing with somebody with dementia, I'm here to tell you, there's some real challenges. One of them is when you're trying to explain to them or get them, you know, help them remember that they're not going to drive anymore. One of the smartest things I ever did was when I got him out of the rehab is I made sure that the doctor put that in writing so that I could show it to him. That was one of the smarter things I did. Like I said, I'm not always the sharpest crayon in it or the most colorful crayon or whatever in the box, or the sharpest light bulb, or the brightest light bulb. What is it? I'm mixing all my metaphors up. Anyway. Well, so I had to show it to him over and over and over. And in writing, and oh man, he was struggling with that. He was, because he couldn't could not remember the information. But he'd see it in writing, and he'd say, "Well, who is that doctor?" I'd say, "Well, it's the doctor at the hospital." "Well, I don't know that doctor," So we'd have that discussion over and over and over. Well, anyway, then his driver's license. So he had a truck, and I sold the truck with his permission. I got him to let go of the truck because the way I convinced him was, I said, I asked him, I said, "Do you remember falling and hitting your head?" And he goes, "No." I'm like, "That's right." Because what happened? They think that what you did is you passed out, you fainted. And so it's just really, really, it's a really good thing that you were just walking the dog when that happened. And he's like, "Oh, that made sense to him, that it was good that he was just walking the dog when that happened." I said, "Can you imagine what would have happened if you'd been driving a car when that happened, and that happened to you?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Well, what do you think would happen?" This is a man who is very, very smart. He was very sharp at what he did, and to have him struggle with simple reasoning was really a challenge. He didn't know it was a challenge because he was just, he was the one inside his head. So every day was new. Sometimes every minute was new. Anyway, sorry, I'm just evening up this petal that I backed with the backing paper. I'll show you in just a second. Anyway, I said, "Can you imagine what would have happened if you'd been driving that truck and that had happened?" I said, "What would have happened?" And so he was able to reason that, and he said, "Well, that could have caused an accident." I said, "That's right." I said, "It could have really hurt somebody, couldn't it?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "How bad would you have felt if that had happened and something had happened to me?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, that would have been really bad." So in one of those moments, I got him to let go of the truck, and so we sold the truck. So that was good. And but then the notice came in the mail for his driver's license, and I'm like, ugh. And he knew that his birthday was coming. He held on to the fact that he knew what his birthday was. He knew that. Okay. All right. So here's what I've gotten so far. So I've trimmed up this petal here, and so now I have these bigger, nice big petals, lighter and brighter. And so we're gonna put these in here like this. So they're bigger and brighter, nice big bright petals, and probably we're gonna layer maybe one in here. Okay, so this one's probably gonna have to go on a backing. So let's go ahead and glue this on a backer just because we could, and then we have one petal that's extra. So anyway, what was I saying? So it was the time, we had to go get his, I was a nervous wreck, to tell you the truth, because I thought for him to let go of a driver's license, but he really needed some kind of ID, because of course at that point, that was in June, I didn't know how long this process was going to last. I had a pretty good idea that, it was not going to be good, but I had no idea how long it was going to take. So there's my petal there. Anyway, so we go to and the other thing I needed was a handicap tag. So those were my two things. I needed him to have an ID of some kind, and I needed him to have a handicap tag. because sometimes I had to use a wheelchair and that kind of stuff, you know, to get him in and out of places. Anyway, it's a whole thing. So anyway, I take him to the license bureau, and I'm a nervous wreck. And on top of that, you know, you had to get the real ID. So I'm like, man, I hope I got all the stuff. Hope I got all the stuff that I need for this whole thing, you know, because I'm dealing with him. He's a loose cannon at this point. I don't know what he's going to say. I don't know what he's going to do. And, of course, I'm ready for the license bureau, man, because they are going to give me crap. I just know they are. You know how it is. You get all prepared for something. And he thought it was the greatest adventure of all time. Hey, Beth, he thought it was great. He loved it. He loved every minute of it because he had all kinds of attention. People were, you know, talking to him, and I had sold it to him enough that that he was like, oh yeah, we're gonna go get a different, so I'm gonna get an ID. And I'm like, yeah, you are. You get an ID, and it's gonna be special. Oh man, I was a nervous wreck. And I have all of the paperwork that I think I need, and I think I have all the paperwork not only for him, but I think I have paperwork for me, because I'm hoping I can get my real ID at the same time, right? Yeah. Best laid plans, people. Best laid plans. So he is having a great time. I'm stressing out, you know, hoping that I've got all the right paperwork and I don't have to make 2 trips. And I have the thing from the doctor about the handicap tag. Got the whole thing, right? Oh, mercy. You guys. Okay, where'd my, here it is. So we go in, and the lady behind the counter, you know, I mean, bless her heart, she's trying to be really efficient and nice and stuff, and she looks at him, not at me, she looks at him. I'm clearly the one packing all the paperwork and hanging on to him so he doesn't go, as my mom used to say, galley west. And no, you can't come over here. Go on. You can't come over here right now. No, you can't. You cannot. You need to. Okay, let me show you what's happening. Do you see this? Do you see this over here? Yeah, he wants to come over here and mix it up and get in the middle of everything. So I'm trying to convince him that he needs to. There you go, he disappeared. Nicely done, Chance. Nicely done. Okay. We might do 2 petals here. So anyway, the lady says to him, so what can I help you with? And he had one of those moments of clarity, and he says, I'm here to get my real ID. And I'm like, whoa. I mean, dementia's a weird thing. Dementia is weird because you don't know when they're going to be there and when they're not, you know? And at this point, I'm not really even sure what I'm dealing with at all, you know? But he proudly announces that he's there to get his real ID. And I'm like, wow, maybe he's going to get better. No, but, you know. Anyway, so she interacts only with him, although I'm having to retrieve all the paperwork because he didn't have a clue, you know, and so I'm giving her all the things she wanted. Do you know that I had every single thing for him, but I had missed one thing for me because you had to have a bank statement, and I did, but it had to be within the prior 30 days, and I was at like day 31. Gotta be kidding me. So I had to go to the bank, get a fresh. I to go get a fresh bank statement. Yes, I did. I had to get a fresh bank statement. Anyway, okay, so here's what we got. You can't come up here right now. So I've got 2 more petals in here. So I'm going to kind of stick this on here like this. So my little sunflower kind of looking, you know, kind of, its head's knotted over a little bit. So that's okay. Anyway, we finally got his real ID. He got to stand up and he got to take a picture, and he smiled nicely for the picture. In the meantime, I got sweat dripping off me. Yep, sweat is dripping off of me. And she's talking to him, and he is thrilled that somebody's talking to him, and then it's time to go get the handicap tag, of which I got 2, thank goodness. And so I go over to get the tag. I put him in the car, you know. So he's in the car because he can't, you know, he could only stand up just so long, and there weren't very many places to sit and all that stuff. And so he's in the car. I get the paperwork. You know what they say? Well, he needs to come in and sign this form. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, he could barely sign his name, but he had to sign his name. I'm like, I said, okay, you know what? He's in the car. I'll go get his signature. I'll be right back. She said, oh, that's fine. Just come on. So I went outside and I signed his name. Came back in. I know, CB, right? Oh, it's just, yeah. It's just so funny. Anyway, okay, so here we go. There's our sunflower so far. It looks funky because it doesn't have a center in it. So let's see if we can find a brown of some kind to put in the center. Or some kind of center. I don't know what we're going to put in. I'll see. It's got to be something I have here. Oh yeah, the prescriptions. Don't even get me started on prescriptions. I got to get off here shortly. All right, I need, brown is not a color I work with very often, so I wonder what I got. I got yellow. Yeah, I don't want to use that yellow. What am I going to use? Maybe I'm going to look in my scrap bin. Oh, scrap bin. It's the worst. It's the worst. You want to see my scrap bin? It's terrible. Yeah. There's my scrap bin. But of course, it's not everything that's in the scrap bin. Because of course I have, here, there's, you might use that. There's a brown. It's got something else on it, something funky in it. Okay. Yes, I see you. You're a good boy. Yes, you're such a good boy. Okay, so here's my scrap bin of just all kinds of crap, right? I'm going to see about using this. This is a stamp that I carved. I'm going to see if by some chance this would work, and we'll ink over it and so let's see what we can do here, shall we? When you make stuff up as you go along, you just, you know, everything is a modification. Okay, let's, or an invention as you go. It's an invention. See if we can trim this down a little bit without losing, but still being able to cover up the petals. where the petals join. Okay, we're gonna make that work. We're gonna make it work. Okay? Yeah, we're gonna make it work. Let's I'll be right back looking for ink. I'm looking for some ink here. We need to ink up this center a little bit because we can. Okay. We'll see how this goes. Might go really well, might go terrible, you know, but it's just, all this is a scrap. So if it doesn't work, you know what? We'll do something different, right? I got to get off here very shortly, you guys. My hands are full of glue. Okay. See, my hand's full of glue. I think that's going to be just fine. It's good enough, right? It is good enough. Okay, let's put some glue on it and stick it down, and then we'll finish this card and maybe make some other ones out of the stickers that I don't have done yet because I got to do some stuff in Photoshop first before I can make the stickers. And I was going to try to get Race to help me with it today because he's so much faster than I am. Ugh. Kid is so, he's not a kid anymore. He's got a birthday coming up. So do I. Oy, yeah. So does Izzy. We're all about a week apart in our birthdays. Okay, and so there we have the beginning of our sunflower. You like it? Good. You like the swirly deal? So what that is, this is a stamp that I carved, and so I was playing around with it. I don't know what I was using to stamp it with. Probably liquid ink or something. I don't know. Maybe it was acrylic paint. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, that's what that is, a stamp, hand carved stamp. So anyway, there we have a sunflower, which may or may not get a stem. It may just get some detailing with some pins, and then a quote or some letters or some stickers or something. I don't know. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. So here's card 1 that we started on Friday. We finished tonight. Card 2, we kind of made up a sunflower as we went along. And we'll play around with adding some line work and stuff on that. And so that's what we did. I kind of like that one. I love sunflowers. I do love sunflowers. I just think they're beautiful. And a whole field full of sunflowers driving across Kansas. Nice. Okay, any questions from anybody? I don't see any. I don't see any questions. Thank you, guys. All right, I will be back on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And thanks for coming back since the electricity didn't cooperate with us there for a minute. And I'll see you on Friday. Till then, remember to get creative today because you know it's easy. And I will see you before you know it. Bye for now.